Coming up tonight, 6 o'clock, press conference. Alex Jensen will talk University of Utah basketball. What do we want to know? I know what I want to know. How do you get back to the NCAA tournament? First thing he's got to do is build a staff. From what we've heard, and a lot of people have heard this, so I'm pretty sure it's true, there's going to be a big NBA influence on this staff. Now, does that mean what? I'm intrigued to see who he brings in that knows college basketball, and I'm intrigued to see who he brings in that will bring someone with them. There. I think they bring someone, and I can't imagine it's going to be 100% NBA guys, although everything we're hearing is there's going to be a lot of people with NBA and G League experience, which is fine. But somebody has to come in and understand the net and how it works and how to schedule. There's no reason to spend time figuring that out. Somebody needs to come in and bring a really good transfer with them. It's weird that we're seeing this in consecutive years with BYU and Utah. It is weird how much these two programs, despite the fact that they'd like to separate from each other, either on the field or off at various times, parallel. And the parallels with Kevin Young. He brought in a ton of people with pro experience because that's who he knows. And Alex, same thing. That's who he knows. He hasn't been in the college game. Bring in people you know, absolutely. But the fact Kevin Young brought in Burgess, there's a guy who knows college. There's a guy who brings a player with him in Keba Keita. And sure, you can figure out a lot of this college stuff, but it takes time, and you got 1,000 things to do. Don't figure it out. Bring in someone who already knows it. And especially if there's someone out there who's a good fit who already knows the Big 12. That's a positive. And then I'm really intrigued. There's been so much of Alex will get the local recruiting going again. And they do need that. And you need some local guys. And there is a recipe at Utah, and I buy all that. But the other thing you need now is you need juniors and seniors. You need fourth and fifth year. I don't know, we're getting past COVID. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of more sixth-year players. But you need the older guys. Auburn, I checked earlier this year, like 8 of Auburn's top 9 scores were seniors. And then there was 1 freshman. Yeah, if you can bring in a freshman who can play and contribute right away, great. But freshmen aren't winning games these days. It's the fourth and fifth year guys. Does Alex know that? How committed is he to that? I would love to hear that. This VCU team that we're going to see here in the NCAA tournament against BYU. Top 5 scorers, a 4-year senior, a 6-year senior, and 3 5-year seniors. Get old, stay old. Mark Pope said it, but coaches all around the country are living it. And there are exceptions. Duke went out and got 3 elite freshmen, including hands down the number 1 pick in the draft. So it can be done differently, but you need to be Duke. And you need to have a ton of NIL money, and you have to get the right guys. A lot of teams went out and got talented freshmen, and there were a lot of talent. I mean, BYU did, and they're a 6th seed. Oklahoma and Texas and Arkansas did, and they all scraped into the tournament. It is good to be a brand name, let's be honest. Oklahoma on the bubble, in. Texas on the bubble, in. North Carolina on the bubble, in. Okay. Drake, sorry about that. UC Irvine, it's a good season, guys. Boise State, well, you'll always have football.
That's the thing about this is West Virginia, Bubba Cunningham is the sitting selection committee chair.
And see, I think that, honestly, I don't think there's funny business. I think it's human nature. I think he excused himself and walked out of the room?
Absolutely.
I 100% believe he did. Now, when you work with people you're friends with, do you want to give people you like bad news? Do I want to walk here out after the show at 10 o'clock and give you bad news, Jake, and rain on your parade?
This is more exceptionalism, though.
You know I don't. So he walks out of the room. They know he's going to walk back in, and they don't want to tell him he's out.
Yeah.
And it's totally subconscious.
They're 1-12 in Q1 games.
And if that was Boise State, they'd be out. Oh, wait, Boise State is out. I know. I get it.
And Oklahoma was 6-12 in the SEC.
And the non-power team that made it, that just squeaked in, and we know because they're in a playing game, is San Diego State.
Correct.
Well, who's been in an NCAA championship game?
Oh, hey, Aztecs.
Who's got multiple Sweet 16s? Not Drake, not Boise State. And the subconscious and the brand, it matters. How do you wipe that out? Unless you drop all the team names and it's team A, B, C, and then you got to have teams A, B, B. I mean, you got more than one alphabet. Heck, they got like 3 alphabets worth in this massive tournament. And you'd have to do that and just have all their names and numbers. And if they don't do that, the brand name creeps in. And there it is. All right. Things I want to hear from Alex Jensen. The goal is to get back to the NCAA tournament. And I want to hear what the non-conference schedule is going to look like. That's another thing. So coaching staff, non-conference, and roster makeup, get old, stay old. Not exclusively. You can bring in a few guys as freshmen and grow them and have program guys. That's an important component, and BYU's got it. And so that's a factor. How much NIL money do you have? They'll never give us the number, so I didn't put that on the list, but I'd really like to know. I have $4.2 million. I have $5.1 million. I have $2.3 million. I'd like to know. Yeah, we're not going to get that, but I would like to know. All right, DJ and PK, Steve Cleveland, former BYU basketball coach, coming up next. Stay with us. Scotty G on the Aggies at 8:30.